Uh, I am nowhere directly related to the subject, but I convey my heartfelt thanks to Brigadier Sir for sharing the deep insight related to the subject to J&K. I have a couple of observations and then a couple of questions. First of all, Brigadier Sir has altogether not mentioned the rule of separatism in fomenting trouble or fomenting militancy in J&K. I think which has a very, very important role in the history of terrorism in J&K. Now I have two, three questions. First, what was the role of separatism in fomenting trouble? My observation is my question. Secondly, post 1990 onwards, there have been broadly three governments. One headed by BP Singh, which was the non-Congress government, then by Narasimha Rao, then Bajpayee Sahab for once complete tenure, followed by two tenures of the Congress and right now around 8 to 9 years of the BJP. I would like the eminent speaker to throw some light on the policy shift with respect to dealing militancy in J&K over these years. My next question is, has abrogation of Article 370 in August 2019 achieved something in terms of containing militancy in J&K, but at the same time I would like to point out that a number of incidents have been witnessed, major incidents have been witnessed, particularly in Jammu region, and that too more locally in Rajouri and Post within the 6 months of this year only. There have been more than 20-25 killings in Rajouri and Poonch, including that of civilians as well as the army personnel, and none of the cases have been investigated and taken to some conclusion till date. My next question is the level of alienation amongst the local youth, both on the northern side of Peer Panchal as well as on the southern side of Peer Panchal, paid any dividends in terms of containing militancy? And there is one more observation. At the very beginning of the lecture, our eminent speaker has pointed out that forces did a good job in containing militancy, and now it was the requirement of a political initiative to contain militancy further. But towards the close of his lecture, he has raised a question on the sincerity of the forces in dealing with militancy in J&K. So I want to understand the dynamics of particular these two shifts in this strategy, right at the beginning of the lecture as well as towards the end of the lecture. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Shashikaran, thank you very much for asking me rapid fire questions. I am reminded of my service selection board days way back in 1978 when I was in front of the interviewing officer, and now also I train children for SSB service selection board with psychometrics. So I tell them, even if you forget the sequence, don't worry, keep speaking, and if you miss out something, let the interviewer guys ask you whether you are not touched upon this, so you speak to him, but don't get perturbed. So I am not perturbed, number one. Secondly, your first observation that you are not connected with the subject, I am sorry to say that is what I concluded at the end. Every citizen of the country has to be part of this anti-terrorist drive. You have to be part of this ladai. So don't say you are not connected with it. Now tell me, what was your first question?
No sir, my question has not been, tell me. In the right perspective.
Okay. Please tell me, what is the first question?
So my question is, right at the beginning of your lecture, you have said that forces did a very good job in containing militancy. But while concluding your lecture, you have also said that you have raised a question on this.
No, this is your last question. I'm saying you asked me 6 questions. Which was the first one? Please repeat that. First one, for only one question.
Role of separatism.
Got it. So you said that I have not covered the role of separatists, but let me tell you, I mentioned about Amanullah Khan, I mentioned about JK National Liberation Front, then converted to JKLF later. Then I also mentioned about Yasin Malik, Sayyid Salahuddin of Jamaat-e-Islami. So these are the Jamaat-e-Islami organization. These were the separatists basically, और उसके बाद हुर्रियत कॉन्फ्रेंस विच वॉज लेड बाई सैयद शाह गलानी. So they were the overground or the political tool of this whole insurgency which was fueled by the ISI. So उनका जो रोल था वो मैंने आपको बताया है अच्छी तरह से. अगर ये लोग नहीं होते तो ये इंसर्जेंसी इस हद तक नहीं आती. तो दे वर द ऑर्गेनाइज्ड गाइज. और यहाँ पे जो मैंने आपको ये भी बताया कि मिस्टर दुलत इज ऑन रिकॉर्ड टू हैव सेड दैट यस वी फंडेड देम. फॉर व्हाट रीजन दैट आल्सो हैज बीन टोल्ड. सो ये जो सेपरेटिस्ट थे, प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है कि everybody in India, like even when I went to National Defence Academy way back in 78, so somebody called me and said, "तुम पाकिस्तानी हो?" I said, "Excuse me, we are bloody proud Indians. What do you mean by Pakistani ho? You come from Kashmir." So impression that is created all over is that everybody from Kashmir is a Pakistani. They want to join Pakistan, and this is not the majority. It's a minority. I wouldn't say religious wise, number wise. So that is very important issue. अभी जैसे भी आपके डिसरप्ट कुछ करना है आपको हार्मनी को, कश्मीरी बच्चा एक पढ़ रहा है लेट्स से दिल्ली और बैंगलोर, हिट हिम, पूरी वैली में फ्यूरोर हो जाएगा कि बॉय फ्रॉम कश्मीर वाज हिट व्हाइल वाचिंग इंडिया पाकिस्तान मैच और व्हाइल डूइंग सम अदर थिंग. आई विल नॉट गेट इनटू ऑल दैट. सो इस किस्म की डिसरप्शंस आर द हैंडीवर्क और आई वुड से किट बैग सॉर्ट ऑफ ए टूल किट फॉर द गाइज हु डोंट वांट the harmony, who don't want the peace. So we have to guard against that. So separatists who are over things, I told you how were they funded. They are the ones who exactly are doing all this work. कि अगर एक प्रोसेशन, फ्यूनरल प्रोसेशन है ऑफ अ स्लेन टेररिस्ट, उसमें कितनी रुदालियाँ, कितने पत्थर वाले, कितने मोर्नर, कितने ये and all that money, all things that is being done. So these are the ones who have created it. So their role is definitely there and they are the ones who sustained it. Next one, what do you say? Second question.
So next question was the shift in policy with respect to dealing militancy by different governments at the central level. These included by VP Singh, by Congress, by Vajpayee Sahib, and then again Congress, and now
you see very very clearly in my last 60 minutes talk I briefly told you in very clear terms that whatever was happening in Srinagar in terms of a political formation of a government, this was all monitored by whether it was Pandit Nehru who arrested Sheikh Abdullah and then made a mass migration of national conferences party, Sheikh Abdullah party, into Congress, or thereafter Mrs. Gandhi disrupted brought Sheikh Abdullah back in 75 Accord, J&K Accord. Then in 1983-84 elections, they dismissed Sheikh Farooq Abdullah government and brought Gul Shah. Then Gul Shah government was dismissed in 86. Governor rules were brought, and then 87 again Farooq Abdullah was brought by Rajiv Gandhi. And then at the time of insurgency, at the peak, VP Singh had done nothing much. Narasimha Rao probably didn't talk about much. VP Singh had its political compulsions. Maybe वो गठबंधन की सरकार थी. It was a coalition government or whatever. So that is why I made it a point to all the researchers on terrorism that please note these incidents and find out were they political, local, short-sighted reasons for which they acted in a short-term goal and let the India burn and overall, or there were incompetencies, or the decision taken were wrong, or they were promoting somebody's agenda. So that you have to find out. But at the same time, all these names which you have taken, they prove to be shallow, they prove to be hollow. वाजपेयी साहब ने भी शुरू किया था, कश्मीर का दौरा किया था, इंटरलॉक्यूटर्स भेजे, whatever it happened, but ultimately nothing came out of it because it was incorrect percentage of political solution and military solution which was being advocated. Next.
Dividends of abrogation of Article 370, if any, and the level of alienation.
Okay.
Amongst the local youth, vis-a-vis terrorist incidents being witnessed in Rajouri and Punch particularly.
Got your point. Okay. Now the point is, after abrogation, since I am a military guy, I've seen it before abrogation, I've seen it after abrogation. So let me tell you, as far as Unified Command Headquarters, the synergy of operations by the forces, whether state or in central army or whatever, it has been fantastic, and there has been wonderful results. There's no doubt about it. But the point is, when I said it is not a military solution required, it is a political will, which it should be the mastermind. What is happening is, if I expected it to be say 80% successful, it has come only let's say 30 or 40%. So पीठ थपथपाने की जरूरत अभी नहीं है, पीठ थपथपाने का टाइम अभी नहीं आया है, हालांकि हम सही रास्ते पे चल पड़ेंगे. Similarly, alienation. I've done de-radicalization camps of children. I can assure you, there's again huge margin of improvement. That again now instead of saying Pakistan Zindabad or independence, people say let us live, allow us to be peaceful in our living. I give you certain examples. Okay, I think it will be a lot of time. Examples will take a lot of time. So, but just to suffice to say, yes, the youth is weaning away towards India, but again, not at the pace it should have been. Somewhat shift is there, and अगर कोई गड़बड़ हो जाती है, तो this shift goes back. It is a reversible shift. So that we have to guard against. So next question, please.
So my last question.
Okay.
Please take it on a lighter note only.
No,
At
no.
the very beginning of your lecture, you have said that forces did a very good job.
Yeah.
But while closing your lecture, you have raised the question on the sincerity of almost all security agencies.
No.
I couldn't understand this thing.
No, I'll make you explain. I'll take it seriously. Don't worry. There's nothing lighter about it. I stand by my statement. But what has happened is, at that particular time, probably the requirement was there what they did. Now, if forces let's say come up with a heavy hand, I'm not in favor of those. And then there are certain other psychological matters. I've interviewed terrorists personally. Why do you do this? I've interviewed forces personnel, Jawans. Why did you do this? Why was this high-handed shown by you? And there are a lot of incidents I can tell you because I served them. But one or two things, like I tell you, how the psyche matters. I was posted in United Nations in Srinagar. One of my clerks, long story, but I'll try to cut it short for want of time. He goes on some work to Delhi headquarters. He comes back after 20 days, and he has a 30 days old daughter. And 20 days he stay away from his wife. And he's come back with a lot of toys, a lot of things, a newborn child, 30 days old, and a lot of things. He's in a different world altogether. And Raat ko he is sleeping in his house, obviously with his wife. And you have a crackdown. BSF, dad, Hari Singh High Street, they enter, break the door and get inside. Now he is telling me the story. He says, sir, this happened. He said, sir, I had barely time to cover the body of my wife. And I had bare time to wear my undergarments. They all entered. No BSF guy made any comment. Nobody said anything. Even he didn't say anything. They came, he said, saw the toys. तो उठा के टॉयज को तोड़ना शुरू कर दिया कि इसके अंदर वेपन है, इसके अंदर हथियार है, RDX है, whatever. So sir, I was feeling bad. I said, why are you breaking the toys? And throughout 20 minutes, he said, they were in my room with my wife under a bed sheet. I am there in my garments, undergarments. My child is sleeping. बच्चे तोड़े, किसी ने कुछ नहीं कहा. Nobody misbehaved. Let me tell you. But चलते समय, when the last guy was leaving, he just made a lewd remark. I don't want to mention it here. Which meant nothing, and he walked off. Now you tell me, the guy who has seen this incident, his family, his children, will he ever say Hindustan Zindabad? He'll have a permanent hatred towards the guys who wear uniform. Similarly, I asked a Jawan, I said, why are you doing this? He said, sir, yesterday these guys killed my brother, or my gaonwala who was in my unit. मैं इनको छोड़ूंगा नहीं. So these are the things which you have to control. And this process has to be political. I'm giving you live examples. If they want to vilification, I said there's a tendering. The guy does in a coordinated, in a project manner. Like there's a one incident, a report comes in Calcutta newspaper that so-and-so battalion CEO carried out a mass rape at so-and-so village, so-and-so street, house number so-and-so on its first floor. Commanding officer supervised mass gang rape of the females in this village. Now this commanding officer had left the unit. He's gone, sir. This is 6 months old story. And Indian Army, unfortunately, though I don't criticize it, but still, I'm not happy with this. Immediately, court of inquiry is ordered. This man is not arrested, but he's called for investigation. And how the hell does he prove? He went to so-and-so village. He went to so many villages with his troops. His area is large. Then I asked him, sir, how did you survive? And Indian Army would have court-martialed him straight away, put him in jail, which they did in some cases, and Prime Minister has got them released about 2 years back, I think. One colonel, 2 JCOs and 6 ORs. Their life is gone. So this guy said, so I said, let me see which villages are talking. And he goes there to that village. It was said first floor of house number so-and-so, street number so-and-so, so-and-so village. He said, I go there, I took photographs. That house did not have a first floor at all. So that is what he showed, and he got saved. But we are not that this thing. And then you are fighting with a one hand tied behind. You have to use minimum force. You cannot do excessive force. So such kind of incidents are there where solution has to be political. Military cannot do it. And now I said they have to do it because now the scenario has changed. If 35 years of your experience to deal with terrorists is there, now they also have 35 years of experience to deal with your this thing. So now you have to change your strategy. So that is why I suggested intensification of intelligence agencies and participation of general public, everyone available here. Thank you. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Welcome.